Hello, students. This is Purushottam Vishwakarma, and I welcome you to this third part of video lecture of the lesson, the third level. Till now, in first two video lectures, I have told you what a kind of person Charlie is, and other two characters, Louisa, his wife, and Sam Wiener, his psychiatrist friend. Charlie, anyhow, enters into the third level that actually does not exist, and I have told you it is just the production of his mind. He enters into the third level in his mind itself. Such a third level actually does not exist. So he is there. In last video we have discussed, he was there at the third level, and he reached at a place which looked like a very old station. We have discussed about the fashion of 1890s in last video. Now he wants two tickets. For what? He wants two tickets to go to Galesburg, Illinois. In which year? In the year 1894. So what happens next? The clerk figured the fare. He went to the ticket counter. He wanted two tickets to go to Galesburg, Illinois. Asked for tickets. The clerk at the ticket window figured the fare. Figured the fare means counted, calculated the fare. He glanced at my fancy hatband while he was looking at the fancy hatband of the narrator, Charlie. But he figured the fare, but said nothing. He was busy in counting the fare, calculating the fare. And I had enough for two coach tickets. He says he had enough money to purchase to buy two tickets. And for those two tickets were one for Charlie himself, another for his wife. One way. He had enough money to go one way. That means only to go, not for returning purpose. So he had enough money to go there. But when I counted out the money and looked up, when he counted the money to the clerk, to the person who was providing tickets, and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. When I looked at him, he was staring at me. He was not happy at all looking at money. He nodded at the bills. He nodded. He shook his head at the bills. Bills here means currency. That ain't money, mister. Hello, mister. These are not money. What is this? He said, and if you are trying to skin me, you won't get very far. Listen, mister, if you are trying to skin me, if you are trying to cheat me, you won't get very far. I'll not allow you to do so. And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. Of course, the money was old style bills. It was sure. The money was old style bills. The money he had in his counter was old style bills. The currency that was used in the year 1890s. Surely, the currency I had at that moment was of no use in 1890s. Half again as big as the money we use nowadays. It was half again as big. The size of notes was bigger than the size I have he had at the time, and different looking, as well as the notes were of different look. I turned away and got out fast. I was afraid, so I turned away and got out of the station of the third label as fast as I could, as he could. What he thought at that moment, there is nothing nice about jail even in 1894. So the experience of jail even in 1894 was not favorable, was not enjoyable. So he left the place at once. And that was that. Now he tells us that is my complete story how I reached the third level. If anyone asks him how did he reach there, he tells us the complete story. And left the same way I came. He tells us he left the same way he came over there. From where he came, he returned to the same place as he supposed, as his conscience says. Next day during lunch hour. Now, what will he do? Surely he'll try to go there. He'll try to go to Galesburg, Illinois. But if you noticed, he didn't have any currency that could be used to purchase tickets in 1890s. So what will he do? He will exchange his currency to old currency. Now let's see what he does. Next day during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of the bank. What he says? He says next day while he was in his office and there was lunch break, he withdrew $300 out of the bank, nearly all they had. So in his bank account, only this sum of money was there. So nearly whatever they had, he withdrew and bought old style currency. What did he do next? He bought old style currency. That means old currency notes. That really worried my psychiatrist friend. And hopefully it worried his psychiatrist friend Sam Wiener. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealers, but you have to pay a premium. He justifies. He tells us another fact. It was very easy for him to purchase old currency notes, but for that he had to pay some extra money. My $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills. So he gave $300 and in return he found only less than 200 old style dollars. But I didn't care. But he says it doesn't matter for him. Eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. He could buy eggs at 13 cents a dozen in the year 1894, which was more cheaper than nowadays. So he was happy finding less than $200 after giving $300 to the money exchanger. Now come to the next paragraph. But I have never again found the corridor that leads to the third level at Grand Central Station. Thereafter he tried his best, but he could never get that third level at Grand Central Station. He could not find the corridor which could lead him to the third level. Although I have tried often enough. He tells us he has tried often, many a times, but he could not find that third level. Louisa was pretty worried when I told her all this. Who is Louisa? Louisa, his wife, was pretty worried when he told all these facts to his wife. And after a while, I stopped. After some time, he stopped searching the third level. He forgot all those things. I went back to my stamps and started collecting stamps, which was a temporary refuge, temporary shelter for him to escape from reality. But now we are both looking. Further, he tells us. But now we are both looking, husband and wife, both are looking for the third label. When? Especially on weekends, Saturday and Sundays. But now we are both looking every weekend because now we have proof that the third label is still there. We have a proof. Let's see how does he justify this proof. My friend Sam Wiener disappeared. What happens next? His friend Sam Wiener disappeared. I have told you about Sam Wiener who disappeared. So his friend Sam Wiener disappeared. Who is Sam Wiener? Sam Wiener is psychiatrist friend. Nobody knew where. There was no news about him. But I sort of suspected. But he suspected because Sam's a city boy. Sam is a city boy. He is a boy belonging to city life. And I used to tell him about Galesburg. And he used to tell him about the beauty of Galesburg, Illinois. I went to school there and I usually told him how I went to school there in my childhood. And he always said he liked the sound of place. And in return, he always told me that he liked the place and he would like to go there if he got a chance to go there. And that is where he is all right in 1894. And that is where he is. That is the place where he is right now. In which year? In 1894. Safe and sound. How do we know all these things? Let's justify it. Because one night, fussing with my stamp collection, I found, while he was scrounging through his stamp collection, he was searching something in his stamps. He found, what did he find? Well, do you know what a first day cover is? I would like to remind you once again. In the very first video, I have told you what is first day cover. It is clearly written here. When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some and use them to mail envelopes to themselves on the very first day of sale, and the postmark proves the date. The envelope is called a first day cover. So if you are asked such a question, what is a first day cover? You will simply answer, whenever your new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some new stamps and use them to mail envelopes to themselves, not to others, to their own address on the very first day of sale, on the very first day of its issuance. And the postmark and the stamp on the stamp proves the date. The envelope is called first day cover. So that envelope is known as first day cover. They are never opened. Such envelopes are never opened because they are sent by the same person who is going to receive those envelopes. Now you may have a question. Why they do so? Why they send such envelopes to their own address? Its answer is to prove that this stamp was issued on that particular day. And this could be proved only by stamping over there. You just put blank paper in the envelope. What actually do? They just put a blank paper because it was not going to be opened. That night, among my oldest first day covers, what did he find? That night, while he was scrounging in his stamps, among his oldest first day covers, he found, what did he find? One that should not have been there. There was a first day cover that should not be there, that must not be there. But there it was. But it was there. It was present over there. It was there because someone had mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galesburg. It was there in the name of my grandfather. And the address mentioned on the envelope was the address of my grandfather, his grandfather. Whose grandfather? Charlie's grandfather. At his home in Galesburg. And where is his house? In Galesburg, Illinois. That is what the address on the envelope said. On the envelope, the address was mentioned. And it had been there since July 18, 1894. It had been there since July 18, 1894. So surely it was very old letter, old first day cover. The postmark showed that. How did he know that? He knew about it by stamp postmark which was printed on the stamps. Yet I didn't remember it at all. But he didn't remember it all these things. The stamp was a 6 cent. What was the cost of the stamp? 6 cent. It was 6 cent stamp, dull brown with a picture of President Garfield. Dull brown in color because of very old stamp. It was colorless, dull brown in color, with a picture of President Garfield. And there was a picture of President Garfield. So hopefully, at the same time, he became the president. Otherwise, he was very prominent person in that era. So there was an stamp issued in his name with his picture. Naturally, when the envelope came to granddad, so it was obvious, it was very clear. When the envelope came to granddad in the mail, as he found my granddad, the grandfather of Charlie, found that letter, it went right into his collection and stayed there. It directly went into his collection of stamps. He did not open it because first day covers were never opened till I took it out and opened it. And it remained there till I took it out and opened it. The paper inside wasn't blank. There was a letter. The paper inside wasn't blank. What was written over there? You can see the letter here. The address mentioned was there, 941 Villard Street, Galesburg, Illinois, July 18, 1894. What was the address mentioned? 941 Villard Street, Galesburg, Illinois, date July 18, 1894, and it was named to Charlie. It was addressed to Charlie. What was written in the note? I got to wishing that you were right. It was written that the person, the writer, hoped Charlie was right. Then I got to believing. First of all, he wished that he was right. Whatever he told, that was right. Then I got to believing you were right. Then after some time, he believed that Charlie was right when he was telling there was the third label, when he was telling the existence of the third label. And Charlie, it's true. Charlie, it's true. There is the third label. I found the third label. I have found the third label. I have been here 2 weeks. It has passed 2 weeks now. I am living here. And right now, down the street, and at the present time when I am writing the letter, the writer tells us when he was writing the letter, down in the street at the Dallies, there is a place. Someone is playing a piano. There is someone playing piano. And they are all out on the front porch singing, Seeing Nellie Home. All the people residing here in this city, Galesburg, Illinois, from where the letter is written, the people are on their porches singing Seeing Nellie Home. That is a song, Seeing Nellie Home. And I'm invited over for a lemonade. And he tells in the letter that he is invited for a lemonade, for some drinks. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. He invites Charlie and Louisa to come on back in the year 1894. And I have already reminded you they were living in 1950s. So the writer of the letter was asking them to return to 1890s. Keep looking till you find the third label. He requested those two persons, Charlie and Louisa, for keep their searching. They must keep their searching. They must not stop their searching. One or other day, they would be able to find the third label. It's worth it. Believe me. It has value. It is there. Believe me. The note is signed Sam. And who was the writer? Now it has been cleared. Who was the writer? Sam. Who is this Sam? Sam Wiener is his psychiatrist friend. So what do you understand now? He finds Charlie finds a letter from Sam Wiener which has been written in the year 1894. That means Sam Wiener had reached in the year 1894 and there he wrote a letter in the name of Charlie. But the address mentioned was of his grandfather. At the stamp and coin store I go to, then he went to those stamp and coin stores. I found out that Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency. If you remember, he had $300. He exchanged those $300 with less than $200 of old currency. Now he found Sam, his friend, exchanged $800 with old kind of bills, with old kind of currency. That ought to set him up in a nice little hay. That ought to set him up. Surely he would be able to set up his business with that sum of money. And what he wanted, that would set him up in a little hay feed and grain business. Hay feed, dry grass, and grain business. He will start a business of dry grass and grain. But here in present, what is his business? He is by profession a psychiatrist. He always said that that is what he really wished he could do. He always said all these things. He wanted to do such a business of hay, hay feed, and grains. And he certainly cannot go back to his old business. It was obvious. In 1894, he could not adopt his old business, that is of psychiatrist. Hopefully, there was no need of such doctors. Not in Galesburg, Illinois in 1894. Why does he say so? He says so because the life in Galesburg, Illinois in 1894 was quite peaceful. So, surely there was no requirement of such persons. His old business. He could not adopt his old business. Why? Sam was my psychiatrist. Sam was his psychiatrist friend. But now he was in 1894 and doing the business of, hopefully, as Charlie guessed, he was doing the business of hay, feed, and grains. So, in this way, the story ends. Now, at the end, I have kept some questions for revision purpose. So, let's check what is your calculation. What did you learn? The very first question that I have, cost of stamps. What was the cost of a stamp that was printed on the first day cover? It was 6 cents. What was the cost? 6 cents. Now the next question. Eggs cost a dozen in 1894. In 1890s, what was the cost of eggs? A dozen. 13 cents. What was the cost? 13 cents. Next, I told you about first day cover. What is a first day cover? Hopefully, you will be able to answer first day cover. Whenever a new stamp is issued, the stamp collector goes to the post office, buys one stamp, then pasted, usually he pastes that stamp to an envelope, puts a blank paper inside it, writes his address, and drops into the mail box. And the postmark decides, proves the date of issuance. These were never opened. Next question. How much money did the narrator Charlie exchanged? Hopefully, you will be able to answer. $300. $300. So, Charlie exchanged $300. Next question. Who started searching the third label together and when? Answer me. Both husband and wife, Charlie and Louisa, started searching the third label together at weekends. That means Saturday and Sundays. Next question. Date on the note in the envelope. What was the date mentioned? The date mentioned on the note was July 18. It was July 18, 1894. So, what was the date mentioned? July 18, 1894. Next question. Sam changed amount at the coin store. How much money did he exchange? He exchanged 800 US dollars. Now come to the next question. What profession did Sam really want? What was the profession he wanted to do? What he wished for? He wished for hay feed and grain business. For what? Hay feed and grain business. Next question. The address on the letter. What was the address? Do you remember? The address mentioned on the letter was 941 Villard Street. It was Villard Street, Galesburg, Illinois. So this was the address mentioned on the letter. Whose picture was printed on a stamp? So whose picture it was? It was the picture of President Garfield. So the picture printed on the stamp was of the picture of President Garfield. In this way, the lesson ends. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.